And we're back. It is time to talk about the legendary team themselves, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, needless to say, I know people are going to come on this video and comment no because they just read the title. But look, like all the other 31 teams, we have to talk about the Maple Leafs. Can they make it past the first round this year? And look, I know the obvious answer for everyone is going to be no, but for me, I don't know. Well, let's start off with how this season has gone so far for the Maple Leafs. So far, they are 22-8-3 with 47 points. They're currently third in the Atlantic Division, very competitive division. They have a .689 win percentage. They have scored 112 goals and let in 83. They are 14-4-1 at home and 18-4-2 on the road. Notice how they are good on the road and at home. But I feel like that other teams are not going to consider them an elite team until they make it past the first round. And that's sad. Because personally, I feel like general manager Kyle Dubas has done his best efforts to build one of the best NHL teams. And the biggest example of that is the All or Nothing Amazon Prime series for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I know some people aren't going to like this, but I truthfully believe that the Toronto Maple Leafs could have gone past the first round last year if their goal scorers actually scored. But anyways, I've been seeing fans call a lot of things out from the Toronto Maple Leafs in the past 10 or so years. So we're going to go look at all of them. So let's look at depth. Is depth the problem in Toronto? Because I've seen some people calling out their bottom players. Andre Kase, the first guy we're going to discuss here, 28 games played, 8 goals, 8 assists for 16 points. He's a new acquisition this season. He's looked pretty solid for this Maple Leafs team. Jason Spezza, he's been here for a few years. 29 games played, 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. I've been a very big fan of Jason Spezza for a while. I think he is a very solid depth forward, and he's been winning the faceoffs, doing what he needs to do for the Toronto team. Alex Kerfoot as well. There was some worries of him getting selected by the Kraken. You could argue him as not depth, but I'm arguing him as depth. 33 games played, 6 goals, 18 assists for 24 points. Those are the 3 players who are doing very solid depth work in Toronto right now. And look, not all depth players are meant to score. Maple Leafs forward Wayne Simmons is an example of that. He's usually in Toronto for the physicality reason, to really defend the big players in Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, etc. Like on every team, there are players in Toronto who are the sole reason of killing off penalties. They may not score offensively, but they can be pretty damn solid on the penalty kill. And that's exactly what every single NHL team needs. Anyways, moving on here, let's look at defense. Is the defense the problem? Let's take a look at the top 3 defenders in Toronto. Morgan Rielly, the biggest example there. 4 goals, 24 assists, 28 points. We'll get into his advanced analytics in a second here. Jake Muzzin, 1 goal, 9 assists for 10 points. And then TJ Brody, who I think is probably one of the most underrated defensemen in the league, if I'm being honest. He's good in every aspect except for finishing and scoring goals. 3 goals, 8 assists for 11 points. He's been solid lately with the goal scoring, but he's more of a defensive defender. Now, an extra thing I wanted to look at for defensemen is WAR value, or advanced analytics, for example, courtesy of Jay Fresh. Let's take a look at those top 3 defensemen's advanced stats. Let's start off with TJ Brody, a 71% offense, a 98% defense, and a power play. He doesn't play on the power play. A 32% on the penalty kill, which is kind of bad for a defensive defenseman like him. He has a finishing of 39%, a 28% goals per 60, which obviously he's not going to get goals. He's a 54% assist per 60. He has a penalties of 84%, a QOC of 90%, and a QOT of 96% for a 2021 WAR percentage of 94%. Let's move on to Jake Muzzin here. A 75% offense, a 93% defense. He's not on the power play. A 51% on the penalty kill. A 39% finishing. A 48% goals per 60. A 92% assists per 60. 43% penalties. A 95% QOC. A 91% QOT. For a 2021 WAR value of 90%. And finally, Morgan Rielly, a 97% offense, a 6% defense, 72% on the power play, is not on the PK, a 53% finishing, 8 goals per 60, 62%, a assist per 60, 79%, 93% penalties, 88% QOC, a 96% QOT, for a 79% WAR value. So basically every single team needs their defensive defenseman and they need their offensive defenseman, and it looks like the Maple Leafs have the fair share of that. But one of those defensemen, Morgan Rielly, is in his contract year, so he could be a free agent by next season. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below. Anyways, let's take a look at something that is often criticized in Toronto, and that is the goaltending. So Jack Campbell is the first goalie we're going to look at here. 17 wins, 5 losses, and 3 overtimes so far this season. If you blame Campbell for last year's playoff losses, I'm sorry, but you're wrong, because Campbell was not the issue for Toronto last year. The issue for Toronto was their players not scoring. Let's talk about the other goalie now, Peter Mrazek. With Frederik Andersen leaving for Carolina, obviously Mrazek came in as the backup role. He's been injured a little bit, though, this season, but he has a 2-1-0 record, so that's not terrible for the 3 games that he has played overall. I feel like for the first time ever, goaltending was not the thing to blame last season. Now, we've talked about depth, we talked about defense, and we've talked about goaltending. What have we not talked about yet? Their actual players. The actual players who are relied on for actual scoring, for actual putting up offense, for actually being the star players for the team. Let's look at how they did. Let's look at their big 3 players and how they did in last year's playoffs. Mitch Marner, 4 assists. 4 assists for 4 points in 7 playoff games last season. A guy who's getting paid as much as he did and as much controversy that he caused back in 2019 just to have 4 assists in the playoffs. Completely unacceptable. Austin Matthews, also unacceptable. 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. Matthews is supposed to be the scorer. Matthews is supposed to be the goal scorer. He's supposed to score more than just 1 goal. He's supposed to score at least 3. And the fact that William Nylander, the least paid player out of all of those 3 guys, is putting up the most points, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points, is completely unacceptable. In last year's playoffs, depth wasn't the problem. Defense wasn't the problem. Goaltending wasn't the problem. It was their star players not performing. Whether you think that Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews or John Tavares or Nylander or Rielly or any of the players are overpaid, you cannot deny that Marner and Matthews and the other big players on their team need to start performing. I'm going to let Tavares off the hook because we obviously know what happened with him. It always feels like with this team, it's just 1 step forward and just 2 steps backward. And I know when I'm going to make this video, people are going to comment, oh, they'll never make it past the first round. Like, people always comment that. Like, that's the mentality that people are driving because they just can't do it. Like, every single, like I said, 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. And you know, it's unfortunate too because the Leafs have the biggest fan base in the entire NHL. And I know a lot of good Leafs fans. And I know a lot of good Leafs fans who are good people. And I know that Leafs fans are often like, oh, you can't talk, you're a Leafs fan, LOL. Like, it's so unfortunate because, like, Leafs fans are some of the smartest fans in the NHL. They may be biased, but they're some of the smartest fans in the NHL. And I've been saying this for a while. I feel like once this Leafs team can get past the first round, I feel like they could very well go all the way and win the Cup. I'm being genuinely honest. Because I feel like this team has the offense, they have the defense, they have the goaltending, where if everything goes right, if their offense performs, their defense performs well, and their goaltending is solid, I feel like they could very well win the Cup. It's a group of guys that have a lot of pressure on them, and they have this hump that they just can't get over. And when they finally get over that hump, I feel like the pressure will be gone, and their confidence level will boost, and they could very well go all the way. Anyways, guys, that is it for me. If you guys want to see some more Toronto Maple Leafs related videos, because I've made a lot of them on the channel, take a look at this playlist on the eye icon right up here to show you all my Toronto Maple Leafs related videos. Thank you all for watching. For personally, I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the Maple Leafs down below. This is a team that is often criticized, often made fun of. So try to be your nicest and actually give me your legitimate thoughts in the comments below. So thank you all for watching. For personally, and I will see you guys in the next